Well, that's another E3 over and done with for another year. So to kind of celebrate the whole E3 thing, we've kind of have this little wrap-up video just to talk about what we're excited about and why we're excited about it. But joining me to do so is Russell.
E3 hype.
And Jordan's back.
I am back from outer space.
E3 is like, as Russell put it in his top 5 video, the Christmas of video games.
It doesn't get much better. Like, it's the hype it ever gets.
No. And E3 Santa has delivered, for the most part, a great number of things we're pretty excited about. But to kind of kick things off, to talk about our favourite games of E3, we'll start off with Russell.
So, E3, it's the hypest. You want to have announcements that are surprising and just something that you're not quite sure what it is initially. And the one I'm going with is Resident Evil 2. Because I felt general surprise for what it was going to be. Like, they hid it from you for quite a while in the initial trailer, where it's basically like some kind of rat thing roaming around in like cupboards with Fruit Loop things or whatever. And then it reveals, it gets squished, and then reveals zombies. Oh shit, this is Resident Evil. Resident Evil 2 remake that they promised we will do it like, I don't know, 3 years ago or whatever. It's finally something. And it is a legit remake, like Final Fantasy VII remake level stuff, where they've completely...
Which we haven't seen much of.
Yeah, true. Completely new graphics, new gameplay, new environment. I mean, it is Resident Evil 2's story, but...
Remade.
Yeah,
it's not a remaster, it's a remake.
It's just taking the story and the context of the location they were in, Leon and Claire, and doing it again, but like completely new. And it looks great. There's so many... The visuals are really good. And it's borrowing kind of like later Resident Evils from more like the 4, 5, 6 era type stuff, as opposed to like the fixed camera angles. It's going away with that, but also having like its own extra features with the like bite detection. It's like Liam gets bitten and you can like see it and that kind of stuff. But super excited for that. Great reveal. But another game that they actually opened Sony's press conferences. So that was Sony. This is also Sony, and that was The Last of Us 2. Where just initially, just the absolute amazing detail that they're able to capture now, both in like the motion capture and just the overall quality. It's just like, it looks great.
But I think the thing we're noticing with all these games now is just the quality of animations. It's just like, it is the next gen jump of like how good they're gonna get. And Last of Us 2 showed it off so damn well.
Yeah, and that's just what we're seeing with next gen now, where it's like, it isn't so much about like the graphical jump, even though there is clearly one. It's just the little things they can achieve on just the subtle movements and just the level of complexity with these character animations. Like, I was completely blown away by what the AI was doing in this demo. Like, as Ellie is running around getting shot by arrows and stuff, she's pulling them out manually, she's crawling under cars, and to see the AI actually distinctly look under cars and talk to communicate each other like they're real people was just super impressive. It's just something really, really good.
Also, the whole level of violence in this game is just like, it's next level, because you're watching someone getting hung up to like a pole or something, they're getting disemboweled, it's straight up in the background, that's happening.
Yeah, and it just serves as a great juxtaposition between Ellie having a relationship and like, a typical teenage type of relationship, while having that spin around to like Ellie like fucking stabbing a guy through the neck or whatever. It's like, it worked really effectively for what the story they're trying to tell, and it is so freaking violent. Like, this game, it's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of a thing about the whole Sony's lineup. It's like, it's all violent.
It is all violent, and that leads me to the one I was the most hyped about. I was super excited for it already. And leading into it, just the concept of something set in feudal Japan is so exciting. And when they revealed Ghost of Tsushima at the... was it Paris Games Week? I can't actually remember where exactly.
Paris Games Week, yeah. We did a video on it.
That game was already like, yes, I want this game. And seeing it, I was like, my fucking god, this looks so damn good. They have nailed it. They've absolutely nailed what I wanted with this game, which was the Japanese cinema. Like, the feeling you get, the loneliness aspect, but the absolutely beautiful landscape, just absolutely perfectly captured. Just unbelievable. Like, you see the like the flowers or the ground, like it just flows as he goes around on his horse, and and then the one draw, the swift one kill movements of samurai, where it's like it's intent to kill, one slice, almost like a Wild West with the gun. Like, it's a one shot kill type thing.
You're not just button mashing here.
Yeah, the idea is that just that impact of just like whoosh, one slice, dead. Super violent. I think Last of Us is more violent, at least in terms of like what you're seeing, but it's still super bloody. Cut them open, the blood sprains across. She has to wipe the blood, that kind of stuff. Like it's still
Samurais were efficient killers.
Yes, super efficient. But what I also love is like they seem to be pulling the idea that this was a samurai, a traditional samurai, but because of what's happening with the Mongol invasion, he's going to have to do things that samurais aren't typically doing, which is
adapt.
Adapt to the more ninja side. So you see him like grappling up and climbing onto the roof, and then doing pretty much Batman stealth takedown, where he's killing 3 people back to back. It just looks
pretty
great.
Badass.
And
introducing the prequel to Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, it's getting all those cool moments, and just the way they end the demo just looks so damn good. Where he's fighting essentially a colleague like previously in that section, and as they fight, and the flare like the leaves are blowing in the background.
Yeah, the leaves going through. Oh man!
And the Mongols are shooting the fire, and the sunlight's coming through, and it looks absolutely ridiculous, and I can't believe how well it's captured. It just, to me, it reminded of like Kojima, like just such a cinematic scene. It's just so good. It just looks really, really good. I don't know how much of a grasp we have of the gameplay. Definitely, it's one hit type kill. I don't know how it's going to feel in like actual person, but visually they've nailed it. Absolutely nailed it.
Where does this game go? Because it's in a very cool setting, very cool place,
and historic significance. Like it's going for realism. It's not going for I don't think at any point there's going to be like a spirit demon pop up or he gets killed and comes back to life. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's very much,
you never know when a spirit demon's going to get involved.
Yeah, it's like to me it's like Assassin's Creed without the extra shit Assassin's Creed normally does. We're like, oh, here's the the spear of destiny, what the fuck they're doing in the current one. It's like, get rid of that supernatural stuff, keep it real,
get that shit right out.
Yeah. And that's they're my 3 highlights.
Russell's 3.
Then it comes to me.
Now, yeah, it comes to Jordan. Now, Jordan's got an interesting list. I'll let him speak for himself, but
it's pretty interesting. It's mostly, you could say, Xbox related, but
I wonder why. It's almost like you're a traditional fan of Xbox, Jordan.
I almost like it. So the first one, least excited of the 3, would be Anthem. The reason for Anthem is because it actually looks like it's a similar premise to Destiny, but done right. Maybe? Hopefully?
They're hoping so.
They didn't show much gameplay, but it looks similar to your regular. You shoot them, fight some bosses, explore the world.
Loot comes out.
But you didn't see any loot, so...
Well, I mean, they're not really going to show loot in the demo. Oh, they showed it last time, didn't they? With I got the whatever it was called, and they're all excited about it.
Yeah,
I think that was a different game.
No, it was Anthem.
No, that was Anthem.
They had
that
the
was
gun.
Anthem.
It's part of the thing of, I got an engram. I mean, not an engram. I got a shiny thing.
We all like shiny things.
What I love about Anthem though isn't the shiny things. It's the verticality flying around aspect of it. That's what really makes it compelling.
Basically, an Iron Man simulator.
It's literally Iron Man simulator, and something Marvel probably should have done right by now. But hey, Anthem's going to do it with adding space wizards as well, because gotta have the wizards.
Interesting thing though is they only showed 2 of the classes out of the 4. They said there was 4, but then they only showed the regular person and then the big tanky guy.
But when they showed the proper gameplay, no, they kind of we got these classes, but here's 2.
Yeah.
Just it makes you think, had they finished the other 2,
I originally
they want to show
thought that I'd missed some of the video. When I went back and checked, it's nope, they only showed 2. And then they showed a few specs about the Space Wizard one, but nothing about the green, fast-looking speedrunner one.
I think it's in
Genji.
Genji. I think it's Interceptor or something like that.
Gotta go fast.
It's basically a rogue.
Yeah.
It's got knives.
Yeah.
When it comes to the second one, Gears of War 5 was the one I was interested for.
So I don't want to interrupt you straight off the bat, but I'm going to interrupt you straight off the bat. Why are you really excited for Gears of War 5? What about that trailer and the gameplay stood out to you that puts it at number 2?
It's all about the beards, man. It's all about the beards.
That's probably their biggest mistake.
Well, it looks as though with Gears 5, they're continuing off where Gears 4 left off. But no more robots. There's more Swarm with robot-y bits in it, sort of.
Hybrid robot, thing.
They have the Locust fusing the robots now to that whatever that thing was shown. Yeah.
They look as though they're trying to do a more storytelling on their characters.
Yeah, they're trying to get the characters more involved.
Yep.
And try and make you care about them.
And also trying to fix some of the mistakes of the previous game. Where, for example,
robots.
You're fighting robots. Oh, this is boring. Where's the Locust? Here's the Locust. Now stuff. does get fun.
I just think they're trying to diversify the visuals, like go for the snow aspect. Like it's something that Gears of War hasn't even touched upon. So it's trying.
They have. In Gears 2, they went to the snow.
Did that? I can't even recall
for a
the snow
little
bit.
bit.
But they're doing this as like way more like this is like next gen,
Well,
like what the ice and snow can look like.
Last time they had big storms. This time they're going snow. So they have snowstorms.
I think they did do the whole
Let it
environmental
snow.
thing,
Let
which
it snow.
just so happened to appear at Marcus's house the moment they turned up.
The question is though, who is that person that's dead in the trailer?
Clearly important, but that's why that trailer was a bit confusing because it's like, oh no, he's dead.
Now I
Who?
have to leave now.
'Cause I thought they just straight up killed Phoenix's son. It's that's ballsy.
It was very much like just a cutscene from the game without context for what the game was. So it didn't feel like a hype trailer. It just felt like if you like Gears 5, or 4, sorry, here's something more. Like here's some more story for those characters. And where they
Clearly
are now.
something went down with that guy's arm though. I can't remember his name.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the main guy?
Phoenix, I think.
Well, that's his
son?
last name. What the
Oh, of course, it's Phoenix. Yeah, that's Marcus Phoenix. Yeah, so it's his
Phoenix
son.
son.
Phoenix son.
Yeah, I can't remember
Felt
his
it.
name. I can't remember. Yeah.
We should probably know his
probably
name
know his
because he
name.
was the main character.
Yeah.
Shows how much relevant Gears 4 was in storytelling, so I hope this one...
Well, they've clearly switched
Does
to
it better.
the descendant of the Locust Queen or whatever as the main focus.
Yeah.
Yeah, dropped a beanie.
I mean, it's a cool story to follow.
But she said she was having dreams. So where's that going to lead?
She's becoming the next queen.
I think
There you go.
I think it's a Voldemort thing where it's like they're connecting her to the Queen, so she's going to be revealing stuff and kind of whatnot.
But
something like Harry
Queen's supposed to be dead.
Or is she?
Dun, dun, dun.
Speaking of people who should be dead, do you want to move on to your next one, Jordan?
Yes, the Shadow of the Tomb Raider would be the next one, the most hyped one that I'm for. With the previous two games, I just like the premise of how they've rebooted Tomb Raider, essentially from being your regular teenagey person surviving through hell
Two guns,
twice.
two pistols. Something like
Yeah.
that.
I said, do you know, Jordan, that this is the first time you become the Tomb Raider in this game? You haven't become Tomb Raider before. Only now you are.
Not yet. Oh,
But this is Shadow of the Tomb Raider. That's why you're so close, but so far.
yeah, and then they're going to be... The next one, you're going to be... It's also going to be becoming the Tomb Raider. That's going to be about how you become the Tomb Raider.
So they've had Rise of the Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. What's the next one that they're going to have? It's like, ooh, are we going to go Tomb Raider or are we going to go Eclipse of the Supernova?
So you excited for the whole, like, Mexico theme? Like the South American,
It's
like,
not Mexico,
Mayans
it's
and
Aztec.
whatever. They go to Mexico for the
Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead. Yep. No, I just with the previous Rise of the Tomb Raider, I really liked the way that they depicted just the storytelling of the way that they did it got me intrigued, and with the gameplay of it as well that I really enjoy. You may not have dual pistols, but you got your bow and your regular stealth sort of things, and
It's a
I just
signature
want
weapon.
more. I want more, and there's gonna be more. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be awesome, and it's in jungles and you're like more stealthy and trees and stuff. Grab people up with their arrows and then strangle them, or jump down from high distances and stab them in the neck. More Tomb Raider is good. More Tomb Raider is
She's
good.
really become like a brutal, like murdering, crazy woman.
She's going through a midlife crisis, okay? She just fell out of a plane that ripped in two pieces.
Yeah, the narrative's never been the strong suit of Shadow Tomb Raider, but it looks like... just Tomb Raider franchise, but it looks like that's the push with this one. But that doesn't want to excite me. It's the tombs. I think that's the biggest thing, that they're focusing on tombs now.
And why are tombs exciting, Russell?
Because that is literally the reason that game should exist to begin with. Like, without tombs, what is the point? Like, the previous games, I just feel like they haven't been classical tombs in the past games. It's more like, here's a broken ship, and now, like, do something with it or whatever, you know? It's, where this is like... Mayan temples, Aztec temples, dangerous traps, dodging things like that. That's everything I want in a Tomb Raider game, and I hope it delivers that in spades. Even if the story doesn't particularly grab me, like a dark Tomb Raider, I'm like, I don't know if that's appealing to me, but it's something different.
Anything else to add, Jordan, before we move on to mine?
Nope, more Tomb Raider is good for me. However it goes.
Wonderful.
Yep.
I don't know when this game's coming out, but it might be coming out in 2077. Cyberpunk 2077 got a nice and juicy trailer. Didn't show any gameplay, but it showed you what the world looks like and what to expect. And we've heard a couple things about what people thought. People are mad that it's first person, even though it's kind of expected to be, because it looks kind of like this thing Deus Ex kind of started. So, I mean, I expected it. People saying it looks really good in person, so
Yeah, there was
not much to go on.
There was quite an extensive demo showed backstage, it seems like.
50 minutes.
Yeah.
And of course, they're not going to show us that because we're the random people who like games.
We're not the people that
if
paid
we
the
see it
money.
looking a bit shit, We're not going to pay money, no. But it's like, if we see it looks a bit like beta-like, we're going to just go full, turn it to 11 and get angry, because that's what gamers do.
That's what everyone does.
But even then, what we saw in the trailer looks great.
The music, like, I like the car. Like, the car really stood out to me. It kind of had a DeLorean kind of vibe.
Yeah, I was thinking like
the back
Knight
of the
Rider
car.
or something. Like, it's got that kind
And
of...
Knight Rider, yeah. They've really nailed that style. Like, when they're going through and showing the city, as much as that first trailer showed it all being dark and gritty, we weren't in the city this time. We're kind of on the outskirts, having a look around. It's like, it's a cool setting. Like, CD Projekt Red, like, they can create a hell of a setting, and they can tell a hell of a story. So those two combined have me so excited.
Yeah.
Now you just need the gameplay aspect to make it a game.
Gameplay hasn't been CD Projekt's strong suit, but hey, we'll see how they go. They're a studio that has gotten better and better as they go.
Definitely, yeah.
Right, so you might have expected this. It is Shadows Die Twice, or Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. A word that's never going to catch on, but hey, sounds cool.
These like original titles with subtitles things always seem kind of unnecessary, especially when the subtitles are way better. Like Shadow Die Twice is a good name.
Yeah, it's
Well,
like
essentially,
all the others.
people won't be able to pronounce it or remember it, so they'll just go Shadows Die Twice.
Bloodborne didn't have a subtitle. Dark Souls didn't have a subtitle, except Prepare to Die Edition.
Yeah.
Cool name. This one, the difference between this and Cyberpunk is we know how this game looks, we know how this game plays, and we know how the animations are stolen from all the other Dark Souls and Bloodborne games.
However, it's solo only.
Yeah, that's something that kind of hurts, because I like playing these games co-op. The difference is as well is that you're playing an actual character. You know, you're Geralt in this situation where you can't make your own
Yeah, no
version.
customizability.
You're not just a random somebody that someone threw a key down into your cell. It's like, go do stuff. Save the world.
Go save the world, undead. But yeah, it's like, it seems very Neo, and Neo 2 got announced at the same later on in the week.
It was just funny that we got 3 feudal Japan games like back to back. It's like, oh, here's one, here's another one, and here's another one.
Here's another one, yeah. But they're all different. I mean, Sekiro and Neo 2, very close together in terms of what they can be. But Sekiro definitely shows off more of, like, as Russell's explained, we were talking about it earlier, about the verticality, which is true of it, because, like, in Dark Souls and Bloodborne, you're not exactly able to jump. You can't use, like, you don't have a grappling hook, which works a bit differently. Another cool thing is the kind of trick weapons, but not trick weapons, like the umbrella thing and sword transformations and the axe and all that, because it's all to do with that little thing on his arm.
Well, it's essentially one of the popular bits of Bloodborne was being able to switch your weapons with trick weapons. So
that was one of the coolest things they ever did. Yeah, they are taking it to another approach, and I wish Dark Souls 3 took more of that.
And just the very fact that it's from software, like, you know it's going to have super inventive enemies, like, it's not going to be, like, Neo, as great as that was, it was still, this is classic Japanese yokai, like demons, like, that is what it is, where this... You know it's going to be some crazy shit like going on in this game with the monsters and stuff you face. And it's going to be obviously super hard. Like, don't think it's going to be easy.
One thing I noticed just from the trailer is just how you can enchant your weapons in other games. The big boss samurai that you're fighting essentially enchants his weapon by spewing poison or something on it.
Yeah, spews all over it.
Kind of reminds me of like the hunters from like Bloodborne, where it's like they are almost like a human player in themselves. Like that extra level of stuff they can do.
They're always the tough enemies. I think the final cool aspect I'm going to touch about Sekiro is the die twice. Like, clearly you can die twice.
Not 3 times, twice.
Just twice. It's a cool mechanic that kind of puts it on a different spin, whereas, like, when you die in Dark Souls, it's like, okay, I'm dead, now I gotta go retrieve my souls. Now it's like, you die, you come back for, like, vengeance.
Does that work if,
you got that second chance?
What if the boss is, like, 1% health, you die, and it's like, okay, well, I can just resurrect and stab him. I'm assuming it's not going to work like that.
I'm not really sure. Like, they talked about, like, in the demos backstage or whatever, that, like, you can revive yourself to, like, they will run away. Like, they'll ignore you once you die, but you can bring yourself back and then, like, stab them in the back or whatever. So, but they said you can't abuse it. So it's not really clear how often you can use it, but they do just... No. They think you die. They literally think you die, and then you can come back.
Maybe you have to get a pickup or something, like, for example, with the previous games, there's Humanity or Embers. Maybe
something like that.
Something like that.
Something like that. There's going to be the traditional Soul stuff, but I'm going to move on to my final, very more traditional game.
Biggest hype?
My biggest hype, because they opened it in the best way possible, because everyone is here. Every single person from every single Super Smash Bros. Game is in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And shitloads of stages, holy crap. It's basically my the ultimate Super Smash Bros. Game.
Hence the name.
100% intended.
Yeah.
But there are a few questions. Number one, is there a campaign crossover thing?
My answer to that would be, can you call a game Ultimate version of Smash and not have the stuff that fans expect, / has been in previous games?
My answer to that is no, you can't. Yeah. And the reason that makes me think it is, because they show off Ridley. Ridley's in the game, from Super Metroid and Metroid series. Yeah. But it's like when they showed the reveal of him, it's Samus, it's Mario, forget who the other
Mega
one
Man.
is, but it was Mega Man, yeah. But they're all together. And it's like, why would you make a one-off CGI thing?
Well, I mean, they have done it in the past, but I really do think, it's just the name. You can't call something Ultimate unless you have everything that you would define as being the Ultimate experience. All characters... I don't think I'll do all stages. That might be a bit much. But...
there's a lot of stages.
Isn't there 85 or something stages?
I heard 75.
Which is a
but
freaking lot.
My biggest thing, if there isn't target practice in this game, it's dead to me. But a couple of main interesting points. Ganondorf has been changed.
Yeah, which is super cool. It
looks like Ocarina of Time, Ganondorf.
Yeah, I definitely like how they've made subtle adjustments to so many characters. It just shows that extra level of detail and fan interest and response. It's fans like this stuff, let's change it. And Ganondorf, because he's Ocarina of Time, he has a sword, which is badass too. Dropped his only fists and stuff.
Yeah, so it's a pretty big change for him. I think it's also cool that we're getting Toon Link, Young Link, and Link all in the one game.
It's the Triforce of Link.
Yeah, which Zelda now summons. But the most important announcement is that Pichu is back, and I'm very excited to play Pichu again. But no, seriously though, with Super Smash Bros, this is a console seller for me. So it's why I bought it. I mean, Zelda's Breath of the Wild is why I got it initially, but Super Smash Bros is what I was waiting for. It's coming out this year. It's coming out very close to my birthday, which I think Nintendo knew about.
I'm sure, Mitch. I'm sure.
They planned
They
it.
definitely knew, so that was for me.
Mitch's birthday on this day. We better make sure we release it very soon.
Yeah, and I think to kind of end on it, it's cool to see Nintendo bringing the GameCube controller back once again. They know. I just hope it works for other things because that nostalgia would be awesome.
So Smash Portable.
Oh crap, it's portable too.
It's portable.
It just flew right by me. It's just
off the bat.
Damn it, now I'm super hyped. Bring on Super Smash Bros. But yeah, that's the games we're most excited about. So E3 is known for its surprises, and this year didn't really disappoint in that regard. To go straight into mine, it's a Nintendo-related reveal, not one we expected, but in Ubisoft's press conference, they showed more of Starlink Battle for Atlas. We here assumed was cancelled. We're going to drop the Toys for Life thing. Guess what? They don't give a shit what we think, and they're still doing it.
Oh, this is that thing that you put the big giant ships on your
You put it on your controller.
They did backpedal, though, and, showing stuff, though. They didn't, show the giant ships attached to the controller this year.
No, there were a couple of interesting things about that were shown, you can actually take the ship off. It doesn't need to be there and stuff like that. But the reason it's my biggest surprise is because a certain character from Nintendo showed up, and it's the perfect character for this situation because it was Fox the Cloud from Star Fox coming in on his ship and everything. It's just a part of that game. It's Nintendo and Ubisoft get along really well these days.
Super well. Almost awkwardly close. Miyamoto and the CEO of Ubisoft, is there something more going on here, or what?
There seems to be a lot of that recently. Mashovers and crossovers. I say more is good.
Yeah, it's like after Mario plus Rabbids, it's they're not going to do that again. It's well, they did something again. Not on that level, but it's it's still something it's really cool to see these two companies kind of join forces to create something kind of really cool. And Miyamoto just loves showing up at Ubisoft, and the CEO loves having him there. So it's just a jolly situation to see.
And it's one of those ones I guarantee has helped Nintendo. Nintendo has sold this game to a lot of people just because they've got Star Fox in there. It's well, I guess I'm buying that game now just to get the toy.
Yep, of course you are. Yeah. Buy the toy. But yeah, that's what I'll say for biggest surprise.
Right, yeah. Well, that was definitely one of the most surprising moments, I think, at E3 overall. But being such a huge Kingdom Hearts fan, we knew going into it that there was going to be big things. At least Nomura was promising big things. And he did deliver on those in multiple points. Microsoft being the first time Kingdom Hearts is coming to their console was shown off on their stage floor. The big Frozen reveal. But that wasn't the one that got me the most hyped. It was the Sony's trailer that revealed Pirates of the Caribbean's return for Kingdom Hearts. That looked super good. Not only in just like, I love how the color palette just changes. Like they can nail the toy vibe from Toy Story, and then they can like become a cinematic movie and still kind of work.
Yeah.
Like it just still kind of fits.
Modern graphics.
I know, it's just so good, like what they can do now compared to just Kingdom Hearts being on the PS2 for so long that you never got to see what they were capable of beyond that. Now it's like PS4, all the powerhouse behind it, and just the level of abilities that Sora can perform now in each world. Like we saw the Gigas in the Toy Story world, now we're seeing like him swim underwater, fly on airships, sail a freaking boat, like Skull and Bones or Pirates of the Caribbean or something. I'm sorry, Assassin's Creed. Like full on like naval combat. It's just... I'm so excited for every world. Like, every world looks like it's got something huge going on, a whole new gameplay mechanic, and super hype up, and something I didn't expect to be revealed. Pirates of the Caribbean.
I'll just say this, as like someone who's playing Kingdom Hearts, all these trailers for Kingdom Hearts 3 are getting me very excited. Like, the whole Pirates of the Caribbean announcement was cool. Everything I've seen of it looks good.
Yeah, and like they're always just feeding in all these little fan like hints. Like for people who like know the series, reveal these new characters. Like they revealed almost. It seemed like every character who has died in a previous Kingdom Hearts is in this game at this point. So it's just it's kind of crazy. Every trial's like, oh shit, that person's back. Oh, that's what that person looks like now in HD or whatever. So it's really cool.
Would you say it's a prequel?
Oh no! This is the culmination of the story they've been building up for every single game so far. Like this is the end, and I'm sure it's going to be super confusing for most people. But I think the Disney aspect of it, just going to a Disney world, finishing that story, will get people through it. But I think it's the end game when you get to that final section where it'll go all crazy Kingdom Hearts and Mura stuff, where it might get bit much for some people. But I think it'll be fun. It'll always be fun.
Alright, so John, does this interest you at all? Like, have you played Kingdom Hearts? I don't think you have.
I've never played a Kingdom Hearts game, and I've looked at it. It's like, yeah, it looks interesting, but I have no idea what the heck's going on.
Fair enough.
It looks cool, but I might not play it.
You need to play the others, which is the biggest thing for me, but I will do that. So, Jordan, what's your biggest surprise?
My biggest surprise is a little bit different. It's for a game that I haven't actually played the first one, Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Most people haven't.
But however, instead of them making the game, they're crowdsourcing art for the game or something like that.
Yeah,
Yep.
through the whole Joseph Gordon-Levitt's little
Hit record thing.
Which I find interesting because are they trying to make the world more immersive, so therefore they're bringing more people in to build the world while they focus on other stuff?
I mean, it's something different. Like, they're trying something different. Like, there was a lot of controversy following after it because it was like, do you get paid for your work? And then they kind of clarified, yes, you do get paid for your work. It's not quite clear how much you get paid for. But it is weird because you get this vibe of, are you kind of like asking people to help you finish the game because you're not able to do it yourself? Like, it's a weird vibe.
Well, I think it's good in a way because they want to make the game extremely big and unique, like every corner that you go around. But at the same time, it's sort of like, where does that end and where's the game actually start?
It's an interesting question to ask about it, but like, I don't know, to me it seems like they're trying to make this a very community project and they're just trying to get like more people involved, and where they're going to only do it if they've some kind of way of paying them, which is why they might have went through Hit Record.
Yeah, it definitely seems like they went through Hit Record to guarantee some kind of value for what you're contributing to the project. So it doesn't quite feel like they're just stealing your work and putting it in their game. But it's when you start asking like the community to create stuff for you, at a certain level it feels like a fan thing. It's like, oh, you can help support the game, but at what point is it just like labor? You're stealing someone else's work. I think Hit Record is that way.
They're trying to go beyond what they could do with the game and bring others into its world.
But yeah, it was something I didn't expect to see at a conference. But yeah, because so now we're moving into a bit that comes with every E3. It comes with the territory. It's the biggest disappointment, rather. And to start off, Jordan's got a very interesting one to start this off with.
Yes, I do have a very interesting
one. What is
it,
Jordan?
Goes against what most people would think is a disappointment.
Controversial.
And that's the Elder Scrolls 6 reveal. That literally reveals nothing. Not even if they're actually making it yet.
Well, it doesn't reveal they're making it.
Well, I mean, are they making it, or is it just a fan service to tell them to stop bugging them about it?
It's definitely an indication that they're going to make it. It's just it's basically just them saying at some point Elder Scrolls 6 will exist. That's
we
kind
will
of
make
like
it, but you
is.
will get it in like 20 years.
Well, it's like the point of like it's like Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's like Final Fantasy 15 or 13 verses or whatever. It's like they want you to know that they're there for like when you think of E3, it's really a big investor meeting. It's like a big marketing thing. So it's like this is what we've got coming up. Investors, people like Skyrim, Elder Scrolls 6, gonna do the same thing.
Yeah, the fact that constantly people say the best conference is the one that has just like a text reveal, Metro Prime 4 last year, like Final Fantasy 7, like it can just be a text thing and people get super hyped up for it. That's kind of what Bethesda wanted, yeah.
Comes to, with that short trailer though, teaser, there's people already speculating where it's going to be, and the biggest result so far is High Rock, because it's near the ocean, and they've like gone all the way around Tamriel, and it's like that's the most suitable spot that's got high rocks in the trailer and other sort of stuff.
And would that be a region you'd like to explore in Elder Scrolls?
Well, it's I think it's the Breton.
It is the Breton area. Yep.
Humans.
They're half elf.
They're boring.
They're half human.
But
half
then you
elf.
got orcs as well.
Yeah, but like when you think Skyrim is just a tundra, there's not much there. When you think Cyrodiil, which I know you're not a fan of, you think there's just grassland. So it's like, I'm sure it'll be an interesting environment to explore for them.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be a bestseller, even if it's not good, because people will just buy it.
People buy anything. They'll buy FIFA 19. They'll buy Call of Duty every year.
I think what a lot of people will be disappointed on is there's a very high chance there's not going to be dragons.
Probably won't be dragons.
Very high chance.
Which dragons were really cool, and I probably a bit of a shame they took them out because it was really like that was sick in Skyrim. It's like a dragon falls down. It's like the ideal fantasy vision is just like dragons. Okay, so I'm going to move on to my biggest disappointment, which I'm sure a lot of people are disappointed with, and it's not Command and Conquer being murdered live on stage. It's how they revealed Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which was the head of Respawn Entertainment sitting and watching the conference, not telling us a thing. He's like, well, it's got Jedis in it, it's got lightsabers in it, it's in the Dark Times.
But Mitch, it's in the Dark Times. Like, we made it very clear.
It's in the Dark Times, is it? The Dark Times.
And it's definitely coming out next year, not this
year. Next year. It's like, don't even announce it if that's how you're going to do it. Do a logo. Do Elder Scrolls 6. I'd rather do that than what we got. Because what we got
well, it honestly
crap.
Felt as though it was like a spur of the moment thing.
It's like, yeah.
It's like, hey, they're in the
It's just one.
crowd.
It's one of those things where it's like you see on text like what the announcement is: Star Wars, a new Jedi game by Respawn Entertainment, and you go, that sounds like a damn good announcement. And then you think of how they did, and you go, this is probably the worst fucking way they could possibly reveal anything.
I don't
like
think
this.
there could be a worse
It was
way.
really bad.
Like, I can't even think of something that was worse than the Konami E3 2010, because that was just...
Yeah, it was that bad. Like that's how bad it was.
It was basically that. And they couldn't even press the
you
X6Y.
get to wield a lightsaber and fight people in Dark Ages.
It's like, thanks, buddy. We figured you said Jedis, we assume you're going to use lightsabers. But, like, I would be over the moon with this game being announced. But the way they announced it just destroyed all hype. I need to see it.
And this is supposed to be out next year. Like, the way you talked about it sounds like we just kind of had a board meeting like 2 minutes ago of like why we were entering this conference, and this is the idea we came up with. It just felt so
Andrew came up to
weird.
me. He's like, Vince, talk about Star Wars. But I got nothing. But it'll be fine. Just do it. It's just like that's how it came off.
It was
But
odd.
hey, at least they announced something. Unlike Ubisoft.
Unlike Ubisoft, because Ubisoft did not reveal the game that everyone was leading into expecting, especially with that Walmart lead, that Bethesda directly addressed by
Our
the
partners
way.
at Walmart.
Exactly. So it's like, seemingly that is official. Like, it seems pretty goddamn legit. And also with the Ghost of Recon stuff, and it was the Splinter Cell lack of reveal at the Ubisoft press conference. And it just felt like it was going to be that one more thing, you know? Like they were building up to it.
There.
I'm just like, oh shit, here we go. Here's the Splinter Cell. Like they're on stage. He's going to go, oh, one more thing. And then it was going to be the reveal of Michael Ironside back. And then just some kind of awesome reveal or something. It just wasn't there. And it just... Ubisoft conference for the most part was pretty reasonable, but it didn't have that hype oomph.
Didn't
at
blow
the
you
very
away
end,
at
even
the
though
end.
Assassin's Creed looked great, but I just thought he was going to be here. I still think it's real. Like I'm sure probably Gamescom or some other event in the future it'll be revealed, but it just really felt like it was time. Like it was just going to be at this event. It just wasn't.
Honestly,
It just felt bad.
felt as though Splinter Cell was being announced when they were showing the Division intro. Because
Right, because the lights and
Splinter
stuff.
Cell. I was like, oh sweet,
I
Splinter
mean,
Cell.
they could do Splinter
But I mean,
Cell
it's-
on the post collapse.
And it's all Tom Clancy, so there's already like a visual aesthetic
Clancy.
consistency to it. And, yeah, missed the opportunity to get on E3 stage, but I think we'll see it sometime this year anyway. I just think it just won't be that big E3 stage that it could have been at. But anyway,
I hope so.
disappointment.
Well, I guess that wraps it up for the video. Hang on, got one more thing. One more thing before we do that. We're going to go through and tell you why there's a game that was shown off that we're excited about and you should be excited about because the game looks great. And so the kind of like I'll start it off with Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Oh my god, this just looks like Ori done. Even they've taken up to 11. Ori's got a sword, a bow. She can bloody like grappling hooks and stuff. It's like the Super Mario 3 to Super Mario, whereas
they're really like claiming big things for
They
this
are.
game. Like they want it to be 10 out of 10 like Masterpiece. They want it to be that.
and the last one in my book might as well be a masterpiece because if this game could even get even half of what Ori and the Blind Forest did, I am so in. And it looks like they're fixing the parts that need the most fixing, which is the combat, which now looks much more intense. I hope the big final boss battle like events where you have to really nail down the platforming is still there, and it will be. And it's just like this game will be good. Like it's a game that I think the original is a game everyone should play, and hopefully Ori and the Will of the Wisps is another one of that, and they just hit it out of the park with the gameplay now being evolved in better. The music was already phenomenal, and now they're just going to have more of that, and the graphics taking on a bit more of a 3D kind of vibe this time, but still looks phenomenal, and I'm very excited for this game, and I really hope it does well.
And it just feels so far along. Like it just feels like it's closer than I would have expected for something that wasn't even released that
If I was
too long
going to
ago.
bet when it comes out, I'd say March 2019, which is similar to when Ori and the Blind Forest came out, which came out in March as well. My one more thing.
Well, something that doesn't have a good history in my opinion, but has had some stellar hits in the back, is finally returning to what I feel like is the rightful form it should have been in for so goddamn long. And that was Super Mario Party announced at the Nintendo Direct event. This game just to me looks like exactly what I wanted it to be for the past like 5 titles, pretty much. Where just Nintendo constantly would release a new party game, and I would just be like, this looks shit, because I put them all on the same track, and it just kind of becomes like a mini game kind of playthrough thing, where you play mini games, but they're never that great. Where I always loved the kind of like Monopoly-esque, like it's super random, like you can get super unlucky in Mario Party, but there is some level of skill there with just the aspect of going around the board and strategically thinking about who you're stealing money from, who you're stealing stars from. It's chaotic, it's crazy, but it's also has some level of skill involved to get that win. Like it isn't just like given to you on a platter, and they are definitely returning. Everything about this game looks exactly like the first one, or the first 3
wanted.
more.
Yeah, another reason to buy a Switch if you don't have one already.
Yeah, another reason that comes out soon. I think August. I can't actually remember when this one had October. Sorry, yes, but not too far away. And it has some pause like type things announced where it's like, this maybe isn't a good idea. I would say very Nintendo, like with the like you're sharing switches to like play certain maps, and it seems like to have an over reliance on motion controls for quite a go through the mini game things. But I'm just excited to be able to go around the board again, classic style, get Boo to steal someone else's star, and have that just like that feeling of just like fucking someone over at the last second and just getting
the
that
best
win.
feeling.
It's a good Mario Party feeling, and it's just so chaotic, so fun, and I hope it delivers. Unlike so many of the Mario Party games in the past recently.
Well, with that, my one final thing is infinitely interesting.
Oh, it's good.
It's Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
It's essentially, they showed it off, showing the world before you knew what the heck was going on, and then they dropped to Master Chief with his helmet. At least you think it's Master Chief, it might be another Spartan, and then the Warthog, and then the smoke, similar to like Halo 1 on the Halo ring. But my question is it's a new engine that they're obviously going to use for Halo 6, but the way that they made that is almost as though they're going to remake Halo 1. That's what it feels to me.
And why is that really exciting for you?
Definitely. Yeah, exactly.
There's more Halo that isn't Halo 5 is good. So hopefully it looks as though they're trying to invest in Halo to make it better for the future.
Why are you really excited about
The
it?
new engine. Because more Halo, more fun, more Master Chief, but better.
Alright, well, that's all our one more things. And I guess it's time to wrap up the E3 wrap up. A nice snug little present. Thank you both for joining me for this.
No problem.
It was really fun. Good talking
alright.
about all the hype, the wonder the magic of E3. But thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. See ya.
It's not a nice...
It's a dark time.
It's a dark time.